It was a cold, moonless, snowy winter night. After leaving my parents' house in northern Michigan, where we had just had Thanksgiving dinner, I returned home completely exhausted. I had barely made it to bed when my pregnant girlfriend suddenly asked me to get her some cheese-flavored snacks. Though I was reluctant, I laced up my boots and headed out to the car. The freezing air made the engine slow to start, which only added to my irritation. Eventually, the car roared to life, and I drove to the nearest convenience store. After grabbing the snacks, I was walking back to my car when I noticed a figure near the dumpster, partially obscured by darkness. Curious, I stepped closer. It was a woman. Her face appeared under the dim light, twisted into a disturbing grin. Her skin looked cracked and leathery, like dry stone. She was squatting and chewing on something. When I looked more closely, I froze in horror. She was gnawing on a human arm, one that seemed to have rotted for days. I glanced down and saw something shaped like a pocket knife in her coat. Before I could react, she lunged at me. I shoved her away and bolted back into the store, shouting at the cashier to call the police. I burst into the store, locking the door behind me as I gasped for breath, and told the clerk someone was trying to kill me. He looked confused and said, "I don't see anyone out there, sir." His words sent chills down my spine. I turned and peered out the window. She had crossed the street and was still watching me with that deranged grin. The police arrived quickly. I explained everything and led them to the spot near the dumpster. But they found nothing. No arm, no knife, no woman. One officer looked at me suspiciously and asked, "Are you feeling okay?" I was about to defend myself, then remembered I was exhausted and had a few drinks at my parents' house. So I simply said, "Yes, sir. Sorry for the trouble." By the time I got home, it was almost 4 a.m. My girlfriend greeted me with a mix of worry and frustration. I told her everything, but she didn't believe me. She thought I was just overtired and imagining things. I lay in bed, restless. Her face, that arm, the knife, they haunted me. Was I losing my mind? But if it was just a hallucination, why was there now a tear in my coat pocket? Could she have grabbed me when I fled? The next morning, though I barely slept, I had to head to the construction site. As I put on my jacket, I noticed the large rip in the pocket, something that hadn't been there the night before. The thought that she had actually touched me made the fear all the more real. That couldn't have been a dream. I was certain I had seen her. I shared the story with a few coworkers, hoping someone might understand, but they only laughed and turned it into a joke. My tale became the day's entertainment. Thankfully, I had a bowling tournament that night. At least it was something to take my mind off everything. I got home, quickly changed, threw on my vest and bowling shoes, and got ready to leave. As I walked out, my girlfriend asked gently, "What time will you be back?" "Probably around 11, I replied. "Won't be long." She smiled and wished me luck. The tournament went well. Around 10:30, we'd won. The victory filled me with joy, pushing all the fear aside until I walked out to the parking lot. At the far end, I saw her again. We locked eyes. She began walking toward me, waving her knife in the air and slashing at nothing. I panicked, jumped into my car, and started the engine. But when I looked up, she was standing right in front of my hood, glaring at me. Slowly, she stepped toward my window. She said something in a raspy, low voice. I couldn't make it out. I was frozen in fear. Then she banged on the car roof and screamed. I jolted back to reality and slammed on the gas, driving until she disappeared from my rearview mirror. I got home in a panic, heart pounding. Like before, I told my girlfriend everything, and like before, she didn't believe me. She thought I was imagining things again, maybe stressed. I couldn't blame her. If I were her, I'd think the same. I tried to sleep, hoping I could leave it behind, but sometime in the middle of the night, I woke up with a jolt. In the dim shadows of the room, I saw her. She stood in the corner staring at me, eyes wide and unblinking. She whispered something again and again, "Let me in. Let me in." Her voice was rough, hoarse, like it echoed from the grave. Each time she spoke, she took a step closer. I tried to wake my girlfriend, but she didn't stir, as if she couldn't hear a thing. Suddenly, the woman shouted, "Paul, stop being difficult," and raised the knife. I was paralyzed with fear. Everything blurred into darkness. I fainted. When I awoke, I was lying in bed, soaked in sweat. My eyes darted around. No woman, no girlfriend, no familiar house. Everything around me was unfamiliar. Then a voice came through the door. "Paul, time for your morning meds." The door creaked open. A nurse entered, smiling softly. That's when it hit me. I had no girlfriend. I didn't even have a home. All those memories. Could they be hallucinations from someone living in a psychiatric hospital? She placed a tray of pills in front of me, her face devoid of emotion. In that moment, fragments of memory flooded back. The woman's screams, the knife, the rotting arm, the suspicious looks from police, the disbelief from friends and family. And then the truth hit me like a crushing wave. I no longer knew what was real. Was there ever truly a woman? Or was she a product of a broken mind? I remembered her face at my car window, the cracked smile, the bedroom door pounding when I thought I was home. But if all of that was imaginary, why did it feel so real? I stared at the pill in my hand, lips dry, whispering, "Will this erase her from my mind?" In the hallway, soft elevator music played, oddly haunting. I closed my eyes and swallowed the pill. But deep down I knew she was still there, somewhere in my head, waiting for an opening, waiting to return, to knock once more and whisper, "Let me in."